In the last 48 hours, everything has exploded. From tax evasion allegations to an actor suddenly being removed from a drama, and a name that was supposed to be over is now coming back. Menglong. At first, these all seemed like separate cases. Jingyi was reported for alleged tax evasion just before her drama was set to release. At the same time, one of the actors in that drama, fan Shiqi, suddenly disappeared without explanation. But the deeper I looked, the more everything started connecting. Fan Shiqi was reportedly present on the day Menglong died. And since then, people have been asking, was this really just a coincidence? Because Menglong's death was never truly explained. There were witnesses, there were missing details, and something that feels intentionally hidden. Hey Tracers, Shan here. What if a system could just erase someone, no trial, no public evidence, and zero chance to fight back? Today, I'm breaking down 3 massive scandals in China that might look different on the surface, but share one chilling common thread: systematic sabotage. And today, we're heading down a rabbit hole that goes much deeper than you think, because you never know how deep this hole goes. It's been wild over the last couple of days. The Chinese entertainment industry has been hit by one shockwave after another. If it's not copyright battles, it's tax evasion. We even have an old death case resurfacing because of a massive boycott movement, and another situation that's blowing up thanks to Menglong's fans. Don't miss out on today's trending topics. Let's break them down one by one. An artist with over 20 million followers quietly shuts down all his studios right before he passes away. Do you think that's a coincidence? Or did he already know something was coming? You might not realize it, but the top trends in China have been absolutely exploding over Jingyi lately. Then, right in the middle of that, the drama Yue Ling Qi Ji dropped its official poster, but they've scrubbed Fan Shiqi's name entirely. They seem like unrelated events, right? But actually, every single one of these threads is connected. Here's the deal. Jingyi has been trending on the hot search for alleged tax evasion. Meanwhile, her latest drama, Yue Ling Qi Ji, was actually set to air back at the start of April. But strangely, one of the supporting actors has suddenly vanished from the face of the earth, Fan Shiqi. Why did he disappear? Because Fan Shiqi is under the same agency as Menglong. He was spotted near the scene on the day Menglong died. Netizens felt something was off and demanded a public explanation, but Fan Shiqi insisted he was never there. Eventually, Menglong's fans began boycotting everything Fan Shiqi touched. Under public pressure, every film and drama he's in is taking the hit. Even though Menglong passed away 6 months ago, netizens are still relentlessly hunting for the truth behind his death. Let's look back at the Menglong case for a moment. In the early hours of the 11th of September 2025, Menglong was found dead after falling from a building in the Yangguang Shandong complex, Chaoyang district, Beijing. The night before, he had been out drinking with 5 or 6 friends. He returned to his room and locked the door from the inside. Yet, by 6 a.m., his lifeless body was found at the foot of the building. That same day, the police issued a statement saying there was no evidence of foul play. Menglong's studio followed up, claiming it was purely a tragic accident caused by intoxication. But a lot of people aren't buying it. Since then, leaked video clips and timelines have surfaced online revealing bone-chilling details. Eyewitnesses claim Menglong was heard screaming, "Even if you kill me, I'll never submit." There are recordings claiming he was forcibly hung outside a window. There were even marks left behind. One theory suggests he was pushed, pulled back inside while unconscious with a severe head wound, and then his clothes were changed at a third location to stage a suicide. The government hasn't confirmed or denied these reports. The forensic files were never released to the public, and the family's repeated requests to see the records have been denied. On September 21, the Chaoyang police released the 2025 Special Internet Prohibition Statement, labeling all suspicions regarding the case as hoaxes. Discussion posts began vanishing, and independent media accounts were forcibly shut down. But there's one number they can't silence. The petition demanding a reinvestigation has already surpassed 350,000 signatures. There's another detail people rarely notice. Menglong had two personal studios. One was closed in November 2024, the other in July 2025. This means by the time he died, both studios had already been deregistered. An A-list star with 20 million followers, quietly erasing the final traces of his career months before his death. Coincidence? Or a silent goodbye? Under certain systems, no evidence of foul play is sometimes a conclusion, but other times, it's just an order to stay quiet. After Menglong passed, netizens began digging into the list of people at that gathering, and Fan Shiqi's name kept popping up. Fan Shiqi is also an artist under EE Media. Back in 2013, both he and Menglong competed in the same Superboy season and signed with the same agency. They were colleagues. After the incident, a video emerged showing a man in an orange hat near the scene. Netizens are convinced it's Fan Shiqi. On September 20, Fan Shiqi's lawyer released a statement accusing netizens of defamation and threatening legal action. But strangely, in that entire document, the name Menglong was never mentioned once. The market gave its own verdict. Following Menglong's death, the boycott against Fan Shiqi spread like wildfire. All his unreleased works have been affected. His role in one drama was slashed down to just 8 minutes, and his name moved to the very end of the credits. Other dramas like Baoju Jin, Li Xianggong, and I Have a Special Communication Skill were forced into re-editing. And the final blow? In the drama Yue Ling Qiji, every single scene involving him has been completely deleted. On paper, it's a closed case. But in certain systems, that can also mean this case is forbidden to move forward. No court verdict, no police charges, not even an official statement. Yet everyone from production houses to streaming platforms made the same choice. Fan Shiqi's face cannot appear on screen. This isn't a legal punishment, it's the market judge working in silence. Back when the official Weibo for Yue Ling Qiji announced its air date for early April, the signs were already there. Fan Shiqi's name was completely missing from the cast list. And if we look back at the trends from that same period, Jingyi was dominating the headlines. On the exact same day the Yue Ling Qiji announcement dropped, her former agency, 48 Media, filed an official report against her with the Central Tax Inspection Bureau in Shanghai. This isn't justice. This is a silent consensus. The Menglong case shows us how someone can be silenced. But this next case reveals something even more dangerous. How the system can be used to tear down someone who is still standing. The details in that report are enough to make your head spin. Her reported income was only $1.5 million, while her actual earnings reportedly surpassed $6.9 million. That means roughly 88% of her income was hidden. This report was officially accepted by the Inspection Bureau under registration number 2026-2013. Is Jingyi going to be the next victim after Fan Bingbing, Deng Lun, and Zheng Shuang? Actually, it's not as simple as it looks. We need to dissect what's really been happening behind these tax evasion allegations. To understand this, we have to trace the thread back to the bitter feud between Jingyi and her former agency. It all started back in 2013 when a 16-year-old Jingyi signed with SNH 48 under 48 Media. Over the next decade, she transformed from a trainee into one of the industry's top-tier actresses. Her role in Legend of Yunxi sent her fame skyrocketing globally, and she's landed on Most Beautiful Faces lists time and time again, But on the flip side, that contract became one of the most controversial documents in the business. Star 48 claims that back in 2018, Jingyi signed a supplementary agreement extending her contract until 2033. Imagine that, an exclusive contract spanning 20 full years, but Jingyi has consistently stood her ground, insisting that those documents are forgeries. The court twice requested forensic handwriting experts to step in, and both times the results were the same. They couldn't confirm if the signature was actually hers. Eventually, in June 2024, Jingyi considered her contract expired and unilaterally announced she was officially cutting ties. By December 2025, she went on the offensive against 48. Her core allegation was that 48, through affiliated companies, used Yin-Yang contracts to systematically hide her true income for years. She claimed she was only given a 15% to 20% cut, when for an A-list star, the standard split usually starts at 50% or higher. 48 Media fired back hard. They flaunted pay stubs, claiming that over the last 10 years, they've paid out a total of $192 million before taxes, complete with housing, cars, and apartments. They aren't just fighting in court, they're fighting a war of public opinion. Around March 26th, rumors started circulating that the two sides had reached a secret settlement. However, Star 48 immediately issued a firm statement. They never entered into any settlement negotiations whatsoever. And the breaking point of it all was the leaked tax evasion report against Jingyi. On the 30th of March 2026, 48 Media officially submitted a report under her legal name to the Central Tax Inspection Bureau in Shanghai. The heart of the report boiled down to just 2 lines of numbers. Jingyi reported her total income for 2024 as $1.54 million. However, between June and December 2024 alone, she was involved in over 20 projects from films to commercial gigs, which, by rough estimates, puts her actual earnings at over $6.9 million. This means roughly 88% of her income was hidden. On that same day, the Inspection Bureau issued a formal receipt, registration number 2026 to 013, and the official investigation was launched. But there was something even more explosive hidden in that report, a leaked breakdown of her specific earnings. In their report, 48 Media laid out the receipts in staggering detail. Her lead role in the drama, Yueling Qiji, paid $2.2 million. Her Yaya jacket brand ambassador deal was $1.1 million per year. A Baidu Maps ad for $138,000, and magazine shoots like the new site and Shiqi pulling in $1.5 million and $1.2 million, respectively. Even smaller gigs, like her TikTok Wonderful Night appearance, were listed at $207,000. When these details leaked, the public lost it. Not just because of the massive amounts of money, but because people were confused. How could a former agency know every single precise digit of an artist's income who had already left and was currently suing them in court? This wasn't just a tax report. This was internal data, weaponized. We'll answer that question in a second. But recently, her studio launched a fierce counteroffensive that has only turned up the heat. On the morning of March 31st, Jingyi's studio released a formal statement. It was unexpectedly aggressive. The core points were: first, the artist has always been tax compliant and denies all allegations of evasion. Second, they have already cooperated with and passed routine tax audits from the relevant authorities. Third, over the last 6 months, Star 48 has been using its network to spread fake news, to manipulate public opinion, and assassinate her career. In response, the studio has filed a defamation lawsuit. Fourth, the contract dispute is still in court, and they believe the legal system will provide a fair verdict. Now, we need to look closer at a few points here. First, she claims she passed a routine audit. This suggests her team likely predicted this move long before the bomb dropped and already prepared their defense. Second, the defamation suit is a smart play. It shifts her from the suspect to the victim in the public eye. But remember, a tax investigation doesn't just stop because of a press release. Now, for the million-dollar question, Where did that detailed income data come from? And why is the timing so perfect? 48 Media exposed Jingyi's income details from the period after she left, specifically from June to December 2024. The data was surgical accurate down to the cent for every drama, every ad, and every commercial appearance. Here's the problem. She officially cut ties and left in June 2024. How could a former agency hold the keys to an artist's finances when she's no longer on their roster? A previous statement from Jingyi's lawyer gives us a plausible answer. 48, through its affiliates, allegedly interfered with her income distribution using Yin-Yang contracts. If that's true, it means the real income data, totaling over $6.9 million, actually came from 48's own financial systems. In other words, they used data they created to report her. If that's the case, is this really about a citizen reporting a crime or something else? And why now? Rumors of a peace deal popped up on March 26th and were immediately shut down by 48. The tax report was filed on March 30th. And the most glaring part? Her new drama was set to premiere on April 1st. The gap was only 2 days. In a system like this, the danger isn't breaking the law. It's who gets to decide when the law is used against you. When one drama alone pays over $2.2 million, and you get hit with a tax scandal right before it airs, everything collapses. Advertisers, streaming platforms, and partners immediately have to recalculate their risk. This report doesn't just destroy her reputation today. It kills her career tomorrow, her brand deals the day after, and effectively shuts down her entire future. Do you guys know what happened back in 2018? Fan Bingbing was caught in a massive Yin-Yang contract and tax evasion scandal that ended with a staggering $122 million. Since then, she has completely vanished from the Chinese entertainment scene. And if you look back, the pattern before Fan Bingbing's fall was identical. Someone coincidentally held a complete set of financial records. Tax authorities in China aren't just pure law enforcers. They can be an extension of political will and corporate power. Who can trigger them and who they target is often a matter of power, not just a matter of law. While the Jingyi case is dominating the trends, another viral story has been heating up. The copyright war between Shan Yichun and Ronghao. If you saw our previous coverage, we did a deep dive into the copyright dispute between Shan Yichun and Ronghao. Since that story exploded in late March, there have been some major updates. But unfortunately, that video is gone now. YouTube took it down a few days ago, along with several of my other videos. The latest update, the organizer, Beijing Baimu Entertainment, announced that for the upcoming concerts in Wuhan and Zhengzhou, they are offering unconditional refunds for a 48-hour window. No admin fees, no deductions, a full 100% refund. The concerts themselves haven't been canceled, but the organizers are giving fans a choice. If you've lost faith in the show because of this controversy, you can get out. It's a middle ground move to balance business with PR. Let's do a quick recap of how we got here. On March 31st, during her concert in Shenzhen, Shan Yichun performed the song Li Bai. Her team had previously requested permission from the creator, Ronghao, but he had flat out denied it. Yet, she sang it anyway. The next day, on March 29th, Ronghao vented on Weibo with 4 consecutive, incredibly blunt questions. Explain to me, in what capacity, by what right, from what perspective, and with what kind of mentality do you dare to sing that song? Simply put, he wanted his principles to be respected. In the early hours of March 30th, at exactly 1:08 a.m., Shan Yichun posted a lengthy 688-word apology. She admitted to the copyright infringement and promised to personally cover all royalties and compensation. She also vowed never to perform Li Bai again and to scrub all promotional materials related to the song. Copyright is supposed to be protected by law. But here, that protection depends entirely on who is powerful enough to speak up. But there's one glaring hole in her apology. She dodged the most crucial question. If she knew the permission was denied, why did she go ahead and sing it anyway? Ronghao did accept the apology and isn't seeking damages for now, but he stated that he reserves the right to seek accountability in the future. That line is like leaving a door wide open. In just a matter of days, the case kept snowballing, dragging other celebrities into the crossfire. First, there's Jingyi. An old interview clip of her joking, "Is Li Ronghao even that great?" started circulating again. She was immediately accused of siding with the copyright infringer and became the target of a massive online witch hunt. Then there's Yu. Influencers and gossip accounts used this moment to drag his name back into the mud, digging up an old copyright dispute between him and Li Ronghao from years ago. Yu's studio shut it down quickly, stating, "Old news doesn't need to be recycled," and refused to comment further. And then there's the poor Wang Feng. On March 29th, he announced his Beijing concert ticket sales, but nobody cared because everyone was too busy chasing other scandals. The Wang Feng law strikes again. Two different cases, the same industry, but the same underlying sickness. One is about copyright, the other is about tax. One involves a singer, the other an actor. In the world of Chinese entertainment, the rules always seem to favor those holding the most resources. Li Ronghao's copyright could be enforced because he has massive personal influence and the lever of public opinion to demand justice. But imagine if the same thing happened to a songwriter who wasn't as famous, who would speak up for them. It's the same with Star 48's tax report. It got processed because they held Jingyi's complete financial data produced by their own system. Now, imagine a regular artist who doesn't have access to their former agency's books, even if they were being exploited for 10 years. How could they ever prove it? The root of the problem isn't just about individual moral choices. It's about a systemic environment where the cost of these choices is zero. When copyright protection has to rely on public pressure and tax authorities can be weaponized in business rivalries, it's no longer just an entertainment issue, it's a systemic one. So, what's next for Jingyi? She's likely facing three possible scenarios. First, the tax audit finds the report inaccurate, or she provides proof that her filings were legal. The case might vanish, but the damage to the drama Yue Ling Qiji and her reputation is already done. Second, discrepancies are found. She's ordered to pay back taxes and fines but avoids criminal charges. She settles everything and continues her career, while 48 Media still manages to land a heavy blow. At this point, it's not even about right or wrong anymore. It's about who still has control over the story. Third, the audit proves intentional, large-scale tax evasion. If this happens, she'll face severe penalties and a total blacklist, just like Fan Bingbing. The drama Yue Ling Qiji would be destroyed and pulled from all platforms. But there's a fourth path that everyone is ignoring. If the investigation uncovers evidence of the Yin-Yang contract structure run by 48 Media themselves, the whistleblower could end up becoming the next target of the investigation. In this game of chess, no one is quite sure yet who's playing with the white pieces and who's playing with the black. Following Shan Yichun's apology, the refund process for her Wuhan and Zhengzhou dates has opened up, even though the concerts are still set to go on as scheduled. The real question is, after all this, will the concert industry actually change how they review copyrights? Or will everything just go back to business as usual once the trending topics fade away? Li Ronghao's statement that he reserves the right to seek accountability is a promise, but it's also a massive question mark. In the middle of all this, the most dangerous thing isn't the bad guys. It's the system that makes all of this look normal. Copyrights are ignored until someone is strong enough to demand them. Taxes are weaponized until the next victim falls. And the scariest part, all of this can happen without a single person truly being held responsible. So, what do you think? Is this all just a coincidence? Or part of something much bigger? Drop your theories in the comments. I'm Shan, signing off. And if you're still watching this, maybe you're looking for the same thing I am.